Большое спасибо всем. Да, возможно, где-то не хватило чуть времени, где-то подготовки, но я рад, что бой так сложился в мою пользу.
Thank you. Maybe there was not enough time, or maybe the preparation wasn't good enough, but I'm glad that the fight ended this way.
It was interesting. You continue to have your most success late in the rounds, almost finishing at the end. What do you attribute that to, that you were having such success in those last few seconds of the rounds?
Очень интересно, что в конце каждого раунда почти у тебя очень успешно получалось завершить его. Почему ты считаешь, так получилось?
Ну, у меня была задача в своей голове, в принципе, заложена программа, что либо я должен концовку стараться делать тейкдаун, либо включаться последние 10-15 секунд. И когда я слышал гонг, что оставалось 10 секунд, я пытался более, наверное, остро работать, и это получалось.
Yeah, I had a plan to finish strong each round, either with a takedown or with a flurry. And when I hear like a 10-second count, it's for me was a indication of going forward.
There's a lot of discussion about who the number one contender is. Aljamain Sterling earlier in the night won. I'm curious if you saw that fight and what he thought, because Aljamain said immediately, don't worry about Jan, don't worry about Rivera, I'm the number one contender. What does he think?
Очень много споров, кто должен быть стать претендентом номер один. И видел ли ты бой Стерлинга против Риверы, потому что он заявил, что не нужно беспокоиться насчет Яна или Риверы. Он главный претендент.
Ну, я думаю, что он все что угодно может говорить так же, как и я, возможно, да. Я думаю, что руководство примет решение. Я готов драться за пояс, если мне дадут такую возможность, я с удовольствием ее приму.
He can say whatever he wants, just like me, but at the end of the day, the UFC will make the decision. And if they want me to fight for the title, I'm ready.
The last thing for me, we just saw a new champion crowned. I'm curious what he thought of Henry's performance tonight. But also, when Henry started naming names afterwards, he said Cruz, Faber, Garbrandt. He didn't even say Aljamain, Jan. What did he think of that list of names?
Только что мы увидели, как Хенри стал новым чемпионом, и сразу после того, как он выиграл, он стал называть имена Фейбера, Круза, Гарбранта, но не упомянул тебя и Стерлинга. Что ты думаешь об этом?
Я не знаю, ему, наверное, хочется бить пенсионеров. Вот. Я молодой, мне 26 лет. Я готов составить ему конкуренцию, и я с удовольствием приму этот бой и сделаю это отличной подготовкой. Медали, пояса сюда.
Yeah, I don't know, maybe he wanna just fight the old guys. I'm young, hungry, I'm 26 years old, and yeah, I'm eager to take this opportunity to fight for the belt, and yeah, I wanna have 2 belts on my shoulder too.
Peter over here, congratulations on the win. If a title shot doesn't happen next, would you be willing to fight Uriah Faber if he defeats Ricky Simon in a few months?
Если, говорит, бой за титул у тебя не получится получить, готов ли ты подраться с Юрием Фейбером, если он победит в своем следующем бою?
Да, конечно же, I ready, big name, Cody Garbrandt, Dominic Cruz, Uriah Faber. No problem, no title, okay. I won't fight top fighters.
Any more questions?
He said any big name. If title shot doesn't happen, then Uriah Faber, Cody Garbrandt, Dominic Cruz, he can fight them all.
Я за год, скажу, подрался 5 раз, ни от кого не отказывался. Я буду драться, если надо будет, будем бить, кого будут давать.
Yeah, I fought 5 times in a year and never turned down the fight. If they'll give me anyone, I'll take it.
Any more questions?
Thank you so much.
You know, the cards and like the backflip and all those things. To me because they said no to exactly, it's good for us to have signings, but they're irritating.
You guys.
Yeah. So we'll see.
Well, eventually it'll get.
What a trade. You're going back. Having one in.
I'm so.
I know. Yes.
I'm telling you.
She was from Adelaide, like
From
born and
Adelaide,
raised.
yeah, loves it there, but how crazy is that?
I just can't believe it. Like on a flight of all things.
Right? And like obviously she wants to stay there, like she loves it, her family
Yeah.
and stuff, but she's only like a.
What was she? Yeah. When was she? What was she doing when she was flying back? Had she been on like on holiday or something?
No, so she was going to Sydney to meet like, I guess they bring in their regional managers or something,
Oh, just from LA to Sydney.
just for a
Oh, I
weekend.
thought you meant LA. That connect.
I just met her Adelaide to Sydney.
Oh, that's huge.
So we had maybe an hour and a half
Yeah.
talking, and then we've talked every day since.
Oh my god.
Literally every day.
What a trade. I mean, you don't think like that anymore. You really don't. Yeah. It's so nice.
Yeah, it's so great.
I want to meet her. I hope she comes to Melbourne.
So if we do, she will.
Double date or something.
Please.
Yeah.
If we do go,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go early and stay with her, and then she'll come down for the weekend
Awesome.
and stay in Melbourne.
Yeah, it's so fun.
What do you think? Is it moving?
Well, I think it'll be October 6th.
No, right.
Oh, is that what you said? Is
Yeah.
what moving?
The paper is it gonna happen?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I heard. And Melbourne too. Why would anybody want to
The attendance tonight was 16,083. The gate was 2.03 million. Fight of the night was Ferguson and Cerrone. The other two bonuses went to Shevchenko and Cejudo. And then tonight there were 6 transports. Jan, Pedro Munoz, Ricardo Lamas, Aljamain Sterling, Cowboy Cerrone, and Jessica I. And Cowboy does have an orbital fracture. Who has the first question?
Well, I guess knowing now that we know that he does have an orbital fracture, I guess it was good. But can you just talk about the crazy ending to Cowboy and Ferguson? I mean, the fight that everybody wanted to see. Was it disappointing for you? Did you think it was the right call? What did you think?
Nah, listen, it's unfortunate because he did hit him after the bell, and it sucks when that happens. You know, the ref should have jumped in there and made sure that that didn't happen. And Tony Ferguson looked great tonight. You know, he fought a great fight against a very motivated, prepared Cowboy Cerrone. So he deserves all the credit for the fight. It just sucks that, you know, that thing's flapping out in the wind for him. So it happens sometimes, though. What are you going to do?
Of course, we know that we got Khabib and Poirier coming up. Ferguson said I think he'd be open to a rematch. He said he'll take Conor. He said he'll jump into that title fight. What do you think makes sense right now? I know you said we got to kind of let both fights play out, but seeing how things went tonight, what do you think makes the most sense for Ferguson?
Oh, that's what we need to figure out. You know, when we get back to Vegas, we'll, you know, get together on Tuesday and figure these things out. But doesn't really matter yet because, you know, these guys still got to fight in September. We got Poirier and Khabib, so.
I'll let that happen first. All right.
Yeah.
Shevchenko.
You know I don't make fights the night of the fight.
Of course. Shevchenko, can you just talk about that? I mean, maybe one of the most dramatic knockouts in women's history for sure, maybe in UFC history.
She's a beast, man. She's an absolute beast, and she gets better every time she fights. Scary.
Caitlin Chukagian was fighting first fight of the night. She said she thinks she deserves the title next. Do you know what makes sense for Valentina at this point?
No, I haven't even thought about it. But the Caitlin fight was good. That was a close fight. It was a good fight. I don't know. We'll see.
And then last, I got to ask you about Cejudo. A great accomplishment for him tonight. You know, overcame some early adversity. What did you think about his performance?
I'm blown away by his performance. I'm never going to doubt that kid again. Okay, so tonight going into this fight, you know, Moraes is bigger, stronger, explosive. You know, has a ton of weapons, and he was busting his legs up. Cejudo, what he did tonight, he did it with no legs too. I mean, that guy had no legs left. I thought this fight was 10 or 12 leg kicks away from being over, and the way that he adapted in that second round and switched up the entire fight, running right into Marlon and trading with him. Then he puts him in the clinch and hits him with like 10 knees to the face, and the knees to the body that he was hitting him with, it was unbelievable. I am blown away. So, you know, this guy has heard it all from, oh, you didn't really beat Demetrius. It was a fluke when you knocked out TJ. You can't deny the guy anymore. I mean, he's awesome.
Yeah. He laid out kind of a weird hit list with Cruz, Faber, and Garbrandt. He didn't mention.
I heard he was saying some nutty stuff on the mic. I didn't hear any of it, but I heard he was going crazy.
Yeah, did any of those fights make sense? I mean, you got Jan, you got Aljamain that both think they're number one contenders.
Right, and who was he calling out? Cruz?
Cruz, Faber,
Cruz is injured.
and Garbrandt.
Faber's old, and
Cody.
huh?
Cody Garbrandt.
And Cody Garbrandt. Got it.
And Featherweight. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll sit down with him and figure out what he's talking about and see what we'll do.
Cool. Last question for me. You know, you said going in, you felt like he was the kind of guy that could defend 2 titles and would do it. But
I said if he could get through Marlon Moraes,
Right.
I would not. I absolutely. Does anybody in this room think he couldn't defend both titles?
absolutely not. But
After the Marlon fight, I'm blown away by it.
he mentioned featherweight, though, as these guys said. I mean,
And he didn't just go in there and try to wrestle. You know what I mean? And put him against the fence and, you know, get on top of him. And he ran right into him and fucking wow. Yeah, I'm blown away. So, yeah.
So did tonight do anything to impact the flyweight division? You know, we're all trying to figure out what the future is there. Did tonight's performance have any impact on what happens with the flyweight division?
100%. Obviously, him winning had a lot to do with the division. So, yeah, it was yeah. Have I said that it's going away? Did I say it's leaving? I haven't even talked about that division in months.
Well, will you confirm that it's sticking around then? How about we go the other way?
Yes, I just did.
Okay.
Yep.
Thanks.
It is confirmed.
Hey, Dan, over here. Did you talk to Cowboy at all on his way out before he went to the hospital?
I didn't.
and I mean, the fans were upset, but obviously he can't continue with the way that his eye was, right? I mean,
Anybody that's in this arena tonight that thought the Cowboy should have continued the fight should be beat with a stick, okay? That's just horrible to think that that guy should go back in there and fight like that. He would. Of course he would, but he shouldn't, and he didn't. That's why there's an athletic commission.
were you? And speaking of the commission, were you okay with all the things they did, the whole protocol,
Yeah,
replay, and
Yeah.
that was the right call?
At the end of the day, me, you, the fans, everybody just wants the right decision. No matter how long it takes or what they have to look at, let's at least get the right decision. And I think they made the right decision. Cowboy should have never blew his nose. He knows he's lucky both his eyes didn't swell up from blowing his nose. So.
Why do you think it's so difficult for guys to defend when they win that second title? What makes that so difficult to defend both of them?
I'm confused.
Like if you have a guy that has 2 championships, they can't.
Oh, yeah, right. Well, I think that, and tonight proved it. I didn't know. I knew there was going to be a huge size difference between these two, especially after weigh-ins and when they step into the octagon, like we saw with Holloway and Poirier, right? So I knew that Henry was going to be much smaller than Moraes. And Moraes is so strong and, like I said before, explosive and has so many weapons. And, you know, the way that he fought Marlon Moraes, I didn't even know he had that in him, by the way. You know, he bull rushed TJ, and he caught TJ with a shot, and he knocked him out. It happens. But when he got literally his ass whooped in that first round and his legs completely busted up, he went back to the corner and came out the second round with a completely different game plan that I didn't even know he was capable of. And it played out right there in front of all of us. That guy can fight at both weights, 100%. For as long as he can make the lighter weight, you know? She's a wrestler, and those guys usually can do it forever.
When he fought Demetrius Johnson the first time, even going into that fight, not after the result, of course, did you have any inkling that he was this kind of potential as a fighter?
No. And if you saw the first fight, you would think that how much better could he get for the second fight, you know? And this kid, I'm not doubting him again.
So you don't let him fight at featherweight, though, right?
So
He said in the ring that featherweight was of interest to him. You don't let him fight at featherweight, right?
let's stick with these two weights for a minute, and then we'll talk about that stuff too. I heard he also said he's the pound for pound best in the world.
Not the pound for pound best in the world. He said he's the pound for pound best of all time.
Got it. Yeah. Listen, it's awesome that he believes in himself like that and that he's so confident. But you know, you got to be realistic. You got John Jones out there. Habib's never lost. He's undefeated. You know, and look at the guys that these guys have run through, and look at how long John Jones has defended his title. So, yeah.
I have two other questions for you. Number one, what do you think led to this kind of improvement in Cejudo? Was it? Do you think it's more just his belief in himself that led to this, or
obviously he's a super talented guy. He's a great athlete, and yeah, I mean he's so confident in himself. Just meetings that I've had alone with him where he's telling me what he's going to do. You know, and you hear lots of guys say that. Lots of guys believe in themselves. Very few actually pull it off. This guy's following me around, by the way. Seriously, every interview I've done, this guy starts fucking tearing shit down, and it's crazy. It's crazy.
And then my last question for you, Dana, on Ferguson. I mean, can you admit now, did you have any reservations about him fighting tonight? And do you think that those questions are put to rest by what he did? You know, he comported himself pretty well in a very high-pressure environment tonight.
Who?
Tony.
Tony? Oh, yeah. No, I never doubted Tony was ready. He wouldn't have been here tonight if he wasn't ready. Yeah, I never once did I think that Tony wasn't ready to fight. You know, as far as his health or mental health or whatever people think. Yeah, he wouldn't be here tonight.
Dana over here. How impressed tonight were you with Alexa Grasso? And I know the Mexico card is coming up too, and you say you don't make fights, but is she somebody that you really want to get on there and probably pretty high up into the card too?
So first of all, she's somebody that we were watching for a long time before she came to the UFC. Then she came in and didn't really live up to the hype. You know what I mean? Then coming into this week, I can't remember what day I saw her, but I was like, wow. She's in the best shape I've ever seen her in. I mean, her abs were shredded, her shoulders were bigger, her arms were ripped. I mean, I don't know what she changed or what she's doing now, but she looked phenomenal this week. And it paid off tonight against a very, very tough woman.
Do you have anything up on deck for that card yet, or is it still pretty far out?
Yeah, we haven't started messing with that one yet.
All right, thank you.
But I'd like to get her on it.
Dana right here. To piggyback off that, Henry Cejudo, obviously Hispanic American, Tony Ferguson, Tatiana Suarez. We saw Andy Ruiz Jr. knock out Anthony Joshua. How important was this card piggybacking off of that for the Hispanic market that you said has been so key?
Yeah, and listen, anytime things happen good for us with, you know, as far as Hispanics go, it's powerful. Hispanics support their people, you know, more than just about anybody out there. So, you know, we're always interested in growing that market. I literally found some dirt already in Mexico City to build a PI. So the first one's going to pop up in Mexico City, and then we're going to look for 2 more places, and then start looking for some land in Puerto Rico.
When is that? When do you think that'll be finished?
I don't know. And I'm flying to. When do we break ground for China?
Well, we actually open in 2 weeks.
Yeah, but when do we break ground?
Maybe, I don't know.
Year and a half? So China took like a year and a half, probably in the same ballpark, a little over a year to open the first one.
Hey, Dana, over here.
Yep.
Right here in the back. We talked about Tatiana Suarez. We found out after the fight that she had actually had a neck injury going into the fight, and she still pulled out the victory. Do you see her next for Jessica Andrade, or would you be more inclined to give it to Michelle Waterson?
I want to make sure Michelle Waterson. Definitely not Michelle Waterson. Michelle Waterson doesn't even want to fight until like September, October or something, and she's ranked too low. But Tatiana Suarez, yeah, I want to make sure that her neck is okay.
And I understand you spoke to Calvin Kattar and his team after his really impressive knockout over Ricardo Lamas. He said there was some talk of a card in Boston. Anything you can kind of?
Yeah, we're looking at a few spots right now, and Boston is one of the options. So anytime we can go back to Boston, I'm in. So hopefully we can get him on the card and do something there.
And last question, just on card locations. We've heard some rumblings. Vancouver might be getting a card this year. Anything you can mention on that?
Is that true? I don't even know if yeah, that's true.
True. It's in September. That's what we're hearing.
September? Potentially.
Okay.
Sounds like a yes.
Good news
to
for
me.
Canada. That's good.
Just go with it. Be in Vancouver in September. It's official.
So, Dana, you mentioned that you've been impressed with Valentina Shevchenko. Could you just a little bit talk about when she first got signed with the UFC and how she progressed throughout this 3-year difference and why you impressed so much?
I mean, forget about when she first signed with the UFC. Her progression in her last 3 fights. I mean, she is literally a wrecking machine. I mean, she is an animal. It's getting to the point where you got to start thinking, who's she going to fight next? I mean, there's always opponents, but she's so nasty. Listen, I don't know who's going to be jumping up screaming for Shevchenko. I can tell you that. Maybe somebody will, but I wouldn't want to fight her.
Do you think the trilogy between her and Amanda Nunes will happen in the future?
I think that you keep them both in their weight class, and let Valentina defend her belt X amount of times. If you think about it, right now you got Amanda Nunes, who has Holly Holm, which is really the only big star she hasn't fought yet. She's taken everybody else out. Then you have a potential. She wants to fight Cyborg again. I don't think Cyborg wants to fight her again, but she wants Cyborg. So if that fight does or doesn't happen, hopefully it happens because Amanda wants it. But if not, no big deal. She already beat Cyborg. Then Valentina will have defended her belts, and then maybe you do a who's the baddest woman on the planet type fight, and you do those two again. Anything's possible, but I'd say for a while here we keep them both in their own weight classes.
And my last one, there are rumors about Sochi in August for UFC. Could you confirm if anything is confirmed and if anything is planned?
Oh, you guys are making me give up all the stuff tonight. Are we? No, that's not true.
What is true then?
I don't know.
Is there any truth to Russia that could be announced?
I'm brain dead right now. I don't know what's true and not
Thank you.
true. Oh, Russia? Yeah. Yeah. What happened to Russia? I'm mad, but I don't know. I don't remember. I'm getting old, honey. Bear with me. Any other questions? Schmo, what's happening?
Thank you.
Back here.
Yeah.
Hey, Dana. So Cejudo, getting back to Cejudo. Now he's got 2 belts, gold medal. How much do you agree with the proclamation that he's best combat sports athlete of all time?
Do you work for Cejudo? Wouldn't John Jones be the best combat sport athlete of all time? Probably, yeah. There's so many people out there. You got, you have. How about Amanda Nunes? I mean, I just said she beat every big name out there. Habib, the guy's undefeated. You know how hard it is to go undefeated, and he's in a nasty division too. Sugar Ray Robinson. Yeah, that's a tough one to claim, man. There's been a lot of bad human beings out there. Look at Shevchenko. Look what she's doing right now and where she's headed. It's tough to call yourself the greatest right now, let alone the greatest ever to ever live.
So with Shevchenko.
I like his spirit though.
So Shevchenko, with the performance that Valentina did tonight and Henry, and with you being on ESPN now, does that magnify with their performances tonight?
So huge. Yes. Yes. I mean, I was telling some guys this week, I came into this week and started to do all this media, and I started hearing all this negative crap again that I've been hearing for the last 20 years. 5 months, maybe 6 months in that ballpark, we've been with these guys. The business has gone like this. I forgot to tell you guys the other day too, everybody was talking about Fight Pass, how that thing was going to take a hit ever since doing bigger numbers now than before ESPN. Even Fight Pass, considering the fact that we're on ESPN Plus, Fight Pass is even bigger than it was 5 months ago. So this ESPN deal is massive. I always knew it would be massive when we got on here. I don't know how any of you could ever have thought it wouldn't be massive being on ESPN. And the tide has risen, and the whole business goes up. And that's just in 5 months. What's going to happen when we've been with these guys for 3 years? It's huge. It's just going to get bigger. The stuff that we're working on now, I think you guys, I think a lot of you Vegas guys are coming out, when is it, in 10 days to do that tour with me? In like 10 days, I'm going to blow your mind in 10 days, what we've built and what we're doing and what the future is. And if anybody who's not in Vegas, not from Vegas, can make it, love to have you if you want to come and walk through it. I'm excited. I'm really excited about it. So you're all invited.
I would love to come to Vegas to do that. Julian Virgin from Atlanta. Aljamain Sterling looked very impressive in his bantamweight bout. Is it possible that we see him as a top contender in the bantamweight division?
Yeah, listen, if Aljamain Sterling has always fought like that, he'd be a huge star right now. He looked great tonight. I love the way he fought tonight. He didn't just try to wrestle. He mixed it up. I mean, in the output that he had tonight, the amount of punches, kicks, knees, elbows, everything that he was throwing, and he was nonstop. Very impressive.
Peter Yan also got a big victory on the main card. Is it possible that we see him as a contender?
Yeah, and he fought, a Jimmy Rivera that didn't want to lose tonight. Rivera looked good too, and it's crazy if you think of the first couple rounds. I was thinking, Yan just won 2 rounds that he probably would have lost if he didn't get dropped. Rivera fought a tough fight, and Yan looked really good.
Final question. Overall, how would you say UFC 238 went?
As advertised. Everybody was excited about it, including me. I got here Wednesday. When's the last time you saw me at a fight week on a Wednesday? I couldn't wait to get out here, and the buzz for this card was huge. Everybody was talking about it, and it lived up to the hype.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Dana. You may have confirmed this before, but what was the status of Sterling's leg?
Yeah, hold on, let me see. Yeah, he went in for his leg, yeah. I don't know.
Okay.
I haven't heard anything bad, so that's good.
Okay. I was going to ask about Sterling, but just to kind of follow up, you saw Sterling improve, you saw Yan presumably improve, but also Cejudo. Would you say either of those two guys are in Cejudo's orbit in terms of?
Yeah, I mean, they both look good. Listen, they're both top guys in that division. Yeah, they're in his orbit.
Okay. And then finally, putting on your host hat, we know there were supposedly some Bears and Cubs here. In Chicago, we're always interested in that. Who did you entertain tonight in terms of?
Theo Epstein was here, Rizzo. I'm close to those two guys. I don't know many of the other players and stuff. And I'm a Red Sox guy, so I don't know.
Good, cool.
But they were all here. There were Cardinals here. There were Chicago Bears here. Cubs. As soon as the game ended, they all rushed over here after the game. Really cool, and we appreciate the support. And I said this the other day, and I'll say it again. The support that this Cubs team gives us every time we come here in Wrigley Field, I've never seen anything like it. Such good people. The owner is a super humble, good guy. The coach, the players, the president, they're all really good people, and we appreciate it.
Thank you, Dana.
Dana.
Yep.
Today, 205-pound announcement for Chris Weidman. He said he'd like to fight in October when the Schmo interviewed him. Would you put him on the Khabib-Poirier fight card in Abu Dhabi?
Yeah. Well, I you know, we're looking at Chris right now, seeing when he's going to be healthy and when he can fight. But yeah, I think so.
Potential opponent?
What? Yeah. He's ready in October. Not ready for September.
If he fought in September?
Are you messing with me, Schmo? You said you talked to him.
Well, he said he'd like to fight in October, but maybe Abu Dhabi would be a good fight card in September?
Can he do it?
If he's willing?
He's not healthy. You just said that.
Well, he's recovering. He said he'd be willing to fight in October, but maybe he can recover quicker.
Schmo, stop playing games with me. Okay?
Who would be a potential opponent for Chris Weidman at 205?
There's a lot of guys. I mean, there's a lot of potential guys for him at 205.
Rematch with Luke Rockhold?
I like him in Cannoneer.
Okay. Appreciate
Not saying that's what I'm going to do. I'm just saying that I like it. Huh? Is he?
Yes.
I still like that fight.
He used to fight at light heavyweight Cannoneer. That she had asked for an immediate rematch. Yeah. Hey, Cyborg. What's the story, Hunter? Do you remember? So there you go. So what he said was Amanda wanted to fight at 35 again, defend her belt there. She's fighting Holly, then go back to 45 to face Cyborg. She wants to fight you now. So she wants that Cyborg fight bad. So if Cyborg's interested, we can do it. If Cyborg's not interested, like I said, it's okay. I'm not saying anything bad about Cyborg. I'm just saying, yeah, I understand. That's just the way it played out. But she is ready, willing, and able. You know, if she beats Holly, she wants to fight Cyborg. So if Cyborg wants to fight, it's there. That it? All right. Bye, guys.
Congratulations, Valentina. Very dominant performance and, of course, a spectacular finish. I'm curious, how do you evaluate yourself? I mean, there didn't seem to be many flaws tonight. So what did you think about your performance tonight?
I think I did everything that I wanted. I prepared very good for the fight. And, of course, I'm very happy to finish it like this way by KO. And I think everything went good.
The high kick was a spectacular finish, maybe the most spectacular in women's history. Did you have an idea that might be there? Or was it a tactic that you had planned, or was it something you just saw in that exact moment?
About this exact kick, it's about exact moment. But on my trainings, I train everything because being MMA fighter, I have to be able to use every single moment during the fight. And if I see the opportunity to make KO, I can do it because I have arms. And if I see opportunity to make submission, I will be able to do it because I was training for it. That's why I think it's very important to train everything.
it was interesting because Caitlin Chukagian was the very, very first fight of the night, but she felt it was a #1 contender fight and that she deserves a title fight next. I imagine you didn't get a chance to watch it. Did you see any of it, and do you think she's a worthy contender?
I didn't see the fight because I didn't see any fight of the card. But if she's like in the position being #1 contender, why not?
And last thing for me, I mean, I imagine you got out of there pretty injury-free. What are the plans for you the rest of this year? I mean, are there dates that you want to, how many times, things that you have going? What do you think we'll see from you moving forward?
I will start to think about it right tomorrow. Yeah, I will rest 1 week maybe, and then go back to the trainings because I'm never resting. And of course, I'm ready to get back to the training camp and have another fight. And I think maybe like 3-4 months from here, it would be nice because I can still recover my energy and recharge for the new fight.
Congratulations, Valentina. When Jessica went down, she went down very hard. Were you afraid? Were you concerned about how she was when you first saw her go down the way she did?
At very, very first moment, you cannot think about this because the fight is still going. And while she was like going to the floor, I still was thinking that maybe I didn't know how deep it was. Only after the referee stopped the fight and I went to my corner, I saw that she not getting up. And then I start to think. But at the very, very first moment, it's difficult to think about this.
Is it hard when you see an opponent? She was down for quite a while, and you did that to an opponent. Is that difficult for you to deal with? You're a nice person. You don't want to hurt somebody. This is a sport. When you see that happen, how hard is that for you?
First of all, of course, it's sport. It's MMA, and we are training for this. If you are not doing this kind of KO, you will get this kind of KO, and no one wants to get it. That's why we are training very hard to be better than our opponents. And of course, everyone who steps into the octagon, they know what they can get inside there.
When we spoke with you earlier in the week, you mentioned that you would like to be on the same card with your sister Antonina. Is there a potential card or date or months till the end of the year where you would like girls to fight?
Yes, it would be nice to fight in the same card because we are every time training together. We are preparing for, I prepare for my fight, she's training with me, she's preparing for her fight, I'm training with her. And it would be nice to have all done in one time and get rest for all our team. But for now it's difficult to say because she fought like 2 months ago. I recently, that's why it's very difficult to find a card who will match everything like for us together.
I'm not sure if you know it already, but you got bonus of the night for your performance. Do you know what you're going to spend this money on?
For travels.
Thank you.
Hi, we kind of talked earlier about how much you've improved over the last 3 fights, and Dana mentioned something too. Can you tell us about how you feel that you improved over the last 3 fights?
I would say that maybe the kind of being in my natural weight class affected this this game because how I said before, every time it's very different when you are fighting someone who is heavier than you and bigger. You have to manage the distance, you have to manage this power, you have to calculate everything in your mind because you cannot go like in open fight with someone who has much power or more weight than you. That's why you have to be smart fighter. And maybe this everything it's matched like because I was waiting for so long to fight in my weight class, to fight with same sized opponents, and finally I'm here and I can show just all skills that I have.
So you felt the best you've felt probably tonight in your career so far?
The best, difficult to say because I had so many fights during my fighter career, not only MMA, but Muay Thai and different kind of martial arts. And each single fight, I have different memories. And every like preparation, it was special preparation. And every fight, I was feeling very good.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Congratulations on your victory, first and foremost.
Thank you.
I know you got the result that you wanted, but could you talk about your emotions leading into the fight? Did you feel like this was this a regular fight week? Were you nervous walking into the building? And yeah.
It's never regular. It's never regular fight week because every time you have any fighter, they have so much nervous inside. It's different. Someone shows it, someone don't show it, someone know how to manage it and to convert this all energy to a good spectacles, a good show, something like this. So it's everything about experience. And of course, it's, I was expecting hard fight because I know that Jessica, she get all the way to the #1 contender. If she would not get up easily, just like gives this fight and say, okay, I'm not here for the fight. But she did everything from her part, and I was expecting very hard fight. That's why I was training very hard and doing my responsibility with media, with everything. I was thinking #1 about the fight.
Definitely. If you could describe your dance moves at the end, how do you think you did?
The dance is Lezginka. It's my traditional dance after the fight, and I was hoping that they will put my music, but maybe next time they will do it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Congratulations.
tired.
Late. Tony, I know you weren't happy necessarily with the way the fight ended and the stoppage and that sort of thing, but you know, you could see your disappointment. But now you had a chance to kind of cool down a little bit, think about it. I mean, what are your thoughts at this moment?
He was slowing down, I think. I mean, it was just kind of like a lot of the other fights. It took me a second. We had a long year, not a year from the last time I fought. It's different. Maybe it took me a little bit longer to get used to it. Didn't feel like I was in the fight until like I got taken down. And then my Grand Valley roots, they just, boom, they popped back up. I knew I needed to get my ass back up so he wouldn't get any of the judges' scores. The second round, I saw him slowing down, the body shots, the kicks. I think he was a little surprised for my kicks. A lot of people, when they get kicked by a Cerrone, they're going to start backing down. We already knew that going into this fight, so in camp, we knew that there was no backing down. We were going to go forward. I saw him when he was throwing more punches. I started to slip, and I started to see his confidence kind of start to decrease. And going into obviously the second end of the round, that kind of sucks how it went and happened like that. I mean, it's not a way to win. Like for myself, and I'm beside my fans, I apologize for that. Going in the third round, I don't think it would have been any different. I was going to pick him apart with jabs. I was going to hit him in the body. I mean, literally, I saw his nose go from like red to clear to red to clear from all the shots. I mean, and even in the first round, I saw blood like off of my eye, and it started just dripping. I was like, oh shit, keep your hands up, man. Like, what the fuck, But yeah, it was a good fight, man. I'm excited about the outcome.
I was gonna say, I mean, you walked out of the cage kind of with your head down, but I mean, now, are you happy with the way you performed? Because you said you've overcome a lot to get where you are right now.
Just talk, because the fight was just so fast. I mean, literally, when fight week goes, I mean, I don't know if you guys are in our position, that it goes fast. I mean, it really does. From the weight cut, you're sitting there and you're just worried about getting your media done, getting everything else squared away, making sure you're promoting yourself really well, and you forget about how the time goes, and before you know it, it's fucking fight day. And, you're in the back and you're warming up, and then boom, it's already done. And then you're here, and it's crazy how fast it happens. But I'm glad that this year went really well as far as like victories and all that. I mean, I've had a shitload of support. I know I was kind of a dick to some of the guys over there, but literally, I mean, when I say that, the F you to people that ask about like how I'm doing, my fans know how I'm doing. They really do. My true fans, they know how I'm doing. You guys know how I'm doing. I grew up with half of you guys from The Ultimate Fighter. I mean, seriously, since 2011, put in my time here. I'm kind of old now. I mean, and it's funny to me because that I've continued to grow, and not only just that, I've seen the changes in this sport. I've seen it go from Spike, I've seen it go to Fox to now ESPN, and it's just getting better. And the fighters stopped looking like NASCAR, having all the stickers and everything out there, and they started looking cleaner, like boxers. And you start to have like people like step it up in their game, and it's I'm very proud to be a part of it, and I'm very thankful to have such a great fan base that cares about our well-being, because we're not animals, man. We're not out here cockfighting. We're actually athletes. We come from good backgrounds. We have families, and we put a lot of time and effort into this. So thank you for everybody that really does care.
There were a lot of conversation going on in the cage afterwards. I'm just curious if anything stood out. I mean, you were talking with Cowboy, the teams were talking. Was there anything that stood out, anything that was particularly meaningful to you during all those conversations?
I call it Cowboy Coach. I really consider a lot of these veterans that are out there, and if I have somebody respect for somebody, I'm going to call them Coach. There's a difference, because you can learn a lot from somebody. And I really wish that we would have went the third round, you know what I mean? But I think it would have been the same story. I don't think he wants to come at me. I don't think he wants to fight again. I think more than anything else, it's I like mat time. For my pops, we would go to these tournaments like hours and hours away from our house, and he would spend a lot of these time during the week for work. And he would tell me, he was like, son, you got to get your mat time. Because I would go out there and I would pin these dudes in like 3 to 5 seconds. And it was funny because you would have like rack up like five matches, 3 to 4 matches, and you'd be there all damn day, dude, getting bleacher seat ass and just kind of sitting there, calluses on your butt. And if you've ever been to a wrestling tournament, I mean, you're there all day. So I enjoy mat time. And I knew walking away from this fight, I knew that a lot of people were counting me out. And they weren't counting on me to come back strong, come back anytime soon, actually. And I made it a point in my head, and I told myself, I was like, you're going to walk away like a champ no matter what anybody thinks. You're going to walk in there with your head held high, and you're going to walk out the same way that you walked in. Yeah, I had my head down because I heard the boos, but I think more than anything else, the fans wanted another round. And honestly, like, I would have gave them another round or two. And if you would have brought somebody else in there, it would have been the same fucking story, man. I would have bled all over the place. Because I know on my Sunday morning, that's one of my favorite songs called Sunday Morning. And it's by Chaos, and it says the same thing. I can't wait till Sunday morning. That's when you wake up, everything's done, and you're sitting there and you're hugging your family, and then you're just kind of enjoying, you're recapping all the fight, you're recapping all the interviews and the pictures, you're looking at it, and you're like, yeah, that was fucking fun.
Immediately after, you said you'd be open to a rematch, you'd be open to Conor, you'd be open to a title fight. If you got to call the shots, which one of those 3 scenarios makes the most sense for you?
I got 12 fights in a row, man. I should be calling the fucking shots. I mean, I've had my title already. I mean, fuck this. Everybody else needs an eval. It's kind of funny, but I don't know what else I have to do in this division to keep after it, man. I mean, like I said, it's a round-robin tournament, but I'm tired of it, man. I'm here to stay. I am the fucking champ. I don't have to go on and refurbish a lot of that stuff. You guys know what I'm about. You know I'm about the business. You guys know I'm about learning and growing. And fuck, man, if Dustin Poirier don't do it, I'm gonna do it, man. Tiramisu needs an ass whooping. It needs 2 to the stomach from me. And if it's McNuggets, you know, for money fight or whatever, I mean, literally, he's an athlete too. I know the division misses him inside here, you know what I mean? I'm pretty sure he misses the fight game too. I mean, seriously, we need to see these fighters keep coming out here and representing themselves in the sport, because that's why you fucking got in it. Like, you're an athlete, man. Keep coming back. I mean, when it's your time to retire, go and fucking retire, man. I mean, seriously. But if you've made a name in this sport and you're able and you're within the age limit, fucking keep competing. And I really want to keep doing that. I want to keep representing myself and my team, my family, and I want to keep winning. What sounds better than 12, 13? But it sounded a hell of a lot better with a title shot and having that 13 victory.
Last thing for me, Tony, will you keep yourself ready for Abu Dhabi in case something happens, or do you feel like you deserve a full camp if you're getting ready for a title fight?
I'm going to go back on Monday and hit some cardio. I mean, I got a couple stitches in my eye. We're going to wait until those heal, I guess. And I'd like to post some more sparring videos. I think you guys I haven't sparred in years. I think I've told you guys that, right? I haven't sparred in years. I can't tell you the last time I sparred. Everything's about timing, it's precision, and it's about doing the drills that are really there. I really, really want to compete more now. I really do. I feel like that I'm not even peaking yet. I feel like that I'm competing with the best of them, these 20-year-olds that are doing sprints with me. I'm faster than them. I'm running further than them. I don't feel like Superman, but I feel like I'm just getting better, man. And not even like wine, dude, because that stuff gets stale too. So, I mean, straight up, man, I really want to just keep getting better, and I want to see how far I can take this mixed martial arts thing, man, and really, really, really hold on to that title for a fucking long, long time, man, and represent my country really well.
Tony, right over here. There's a long road back to this weekend. I wonder, just when you walk into that cage tonight and just soak in the crowd, and this is the moment you've been thinking of for a long time at this point, how did that feel?
Good. It felt really good. I tried not to, what was it? I think Pat Barry told me, it was funny, if you start singing your opponent's song, you're doing it wrong. Or you start clapping for yourself, you know, obviously you're going to lose. Or you start walking out to Eminem songs, you know, no, nothing to Eminem, but there's a lot of these stipulations and stereotypes that go into like the walkout. There was a lot of crowd, and it was a big walkout. It wasn't like the Palms where it was like you walk out and then you're in the cage. No, fuck, no, it was great. It was awesome. I got to see so many people there. I had butterflies in my stomach. I'll be real with you. I was nervous, man. I was in the back. They told us 5 minutes, and I broke a sweat, lost it. 5 more minutes, Turkish. Oh, shit, all right, cool. And then it ended up being like another 2 more minutes, and it was kind of like funny. I was like, all right, fuck it, whatever. Started listening to some music, and I was like jamming. I even watched a music video, and I was just kind of like dancing with it. And throughout the walkout, I could just see how many fans were just amped to see me walk out. I mean, that's incredible, man. You don't get that in the gym. You know, you're like walking to the gym, you're like, hey, slap hand. Oh, shit, there's nobody here. Nah, man, and then it's an immediate, like, just boom, and it just hits you like a fresh breath of air. And you're walking out and you're hearing your song and you try not to force anything like dancing or doing anything else like that. You heard Cerrone say at the open workout, I'm not going to break dance for you guys. Usually I'll do something kind of like that. And I wasn't trying to force anything. I was just trying to soak it up, man. And it was really awesome. It was really cool, warming.
The nerves, is that unusual, or is that something you usually feel before the fight?
I think if you don't get the nerves, I think that there's something wrong with you. I mean, we're in there, we're about to go toe-to-toe with somebody that's preparing to kick your ass. I mean, literally, the nerves are good. I mean, people get nerves from playing badminton. I'm pretty sure, if it's high enough stakes. And nothing against badminton, you know. But it's the fight game. And we prepare as much as we can. I mean, like I said, it's been a long year. I had a lot going on. And I didn't know how anything was going to go. It was a short notice fight, and this dude was coming off of nice victories, man. So, you're a new kid. I mean, literally, you got everything on top of your plate right there. That's gold. So to compete with that, I mean, literally, your gold's got to be just as shiny, and that's how it was.
Once you're in there, it felt like you started finding your momentum, finding your rhythm, and then by the second round, you were rolling. What was working for you in there?
Jabs, body shots, kicks. I think he wasn't. I utilized these kicks. My coach's Muay Thai is dope, dude, and we can count on my jiu-jitsu, which is awesome, and then my boxing, my movement within that. I mean, like, I put together a fucking solid team, like a really solid team. I don't have like a bunch of training partners. I have the right training partners, and when we all come together, it's all about business, man. It really is. I mean, this is a business. This is entertainment. But if you don't take this shit seriously, your ass is not gonna win, and you're gonna get hurt. And, my grandma told me, shout out to my grandma in 805 and all my family out there too in the 231. But she always tells me, get in, get out, mijo. I mean, literally. And I met Cowboy's grandma too. And she said the same thing. She's like, I know you guys have to do your job, but she gave me a kiss on the cheek, which is fucking awesome. It was hard to go in there and to fight somebody that's really genuine and nice like that. But this is a gentleman's sport. We're out there, we're here. He's a cowboy, I'm a horseman, we're here. Like old school Tombstone, man. We're here to clean up the streets, so.
Like you said, 12 straight wins. Only 5 other men have had longer win streaks in the UFC history, and they are all very long reigning champs. Does it almost feel like you've become sort of your own separate entity aside from the belt, like this sort of boogeyman, to use?
You should see the inside of my jacket. It says champ shit only. My tailor's pretty cool. I didn't look at my suit until the game day, and he remembered my size and everything. I got surprised with the suit, and it's those little things like that that make a huge difference. And that's when you stop worrying about the numbers, and it starts to become letters. It starts like like the MCN, like all that kind of stuff. And I couldn't tell you what my record was. I really couldn't. I forgot how many wins I had in a row. Not to be cocky, but it's just I just fucking don't care. I don't. I mean, I look at that belt and I carry it with me during like media day and all that kind of stuff because I'm proud of that, man. I won it. I mean, literally, and I haven't lost it. To me, I haven't lost it. I gotta lose in order to lose that shit. If I would have lost tonight, I would have bought Cowboy a fucking belt. You guys understand that? Like, that's the kind of guy that I am. I don't care what anybody else is fucking doing, but that's me. So if I'm at 12 fights in a row and there's those people that are like that, I'm not gonna look at that because I want to keep going. I want to be on the Hall of Fame. And how do you do that? You keep fucking winning. You keep putting your nose to the grindstone. You keep doing the damn thing. You don't worry about that other bullshit. It'll come with it.
And then last for me, you mentioned open workouts. It seemed like there was a moment, maybe towards the end of open workouts, where you sort of laid down on the mat and just kind of took in the moment, and the crowd was really going for you. They were really excited to have you back. What did it mean just to feel the love from the community this week, throughout the week?
Well, I actually laid down because I wasn't going to do anything. I was just going to sit there and lay down and see if anybody was going to be like, are you going to do anything? But just all jokes aside, I mean, like I like to do like little things like that. But the crowd, I didn't expect it. I didn't expect Chicago to be so awesome. When we get here, Monday we went for a run. We put in 6 miles, ran to Lake Michigan, felt like home, like I was across Muskegon. And everywhere we went, dude, we had these people, Tony! I'm like, how they know it's me? And I'm like, oh shit, you got your jacket on. It says Ferguson on the back. So it says UFC, so I started cracking up, and the cameraman was actually running with us, which was pretty cool too, and he was keeping up. So it was inspiring, dude. Like, it felt like I was back where I belong. It felt like this, like, it's not just like where I belong. This is like my job, but not a job. It's like a career, but it's more than that. Like I said, aside from like victories and wins and stuff like that, I want to see how good I can get. I really do, because I don't think I've even peaked yet, man. And to have these people, they write me emails from all over the world, and they're telling how inspiring and how motivating, how just the things, that went on, and just how to bounce back, and then from surgeries and from all the bullshit. And sometimes I get to respond to them, and I like to show my team a lot of this because, like, it's them. It's not just me. Because without them, literally, like, seriously, man, I wouldn't I might be here, but it'd be hard. It'd be a lot harder if I didn't have that support system. I mean, so thank you guys for the emails, man. I see them when I read them, and, like, half the time it says, I know you probably won't read this. Fuck, dude, I try. I really do, and if I can't respond to you, well, at least one time I'll try. I swear. Thank you.
Tony, congrats on a great fight. I guess based on what you said about your grandmother doesn't care about mat time too much, eh?
Hey, no. Get in, get out, mijo. That's what she says. And yeah, she knows it's a fight game, man. My very first fight that I had, I was borrowing her car, and I moved to California. I didn't really have much. I just had like 2 suitcases and like $50. And I borrowed a car, and the very first fight I had was an amateur fight. I went home. I told my parents, I was like, look, hey, I got an opportunity to turn pro. I was like, I'm going to turn pro in this sport. And they were like, well, if you're going to do it like anything else you do, train hard and give it everything you got. The very first check that I got, I don't even know, it was like $500 or something like that. Very first fight. And I was so proud of it. I gave my grandma that check, and she cried a little bit. And I was like, I'm in the right fucking sport. I was like, I enjoy what I'm doing. everybody else didn't know what the fuck I was doing. They thought I was out fucking around because I wasn't at home. I was out in the gym 24/7. That's what it was. And that's how I've been since I started, since 2008-9. I've been consistent with that because effort times consistency is confidence. And the only thing I've been building in this sport is confidence, straight up.
One of the things it seems like, I don't know how many guys it is, but maybe your last 7, 8 fights in a row, you broke everybody up. I mean, broken noses, cuts on their forehead. What is it about you that does so much damage to your opponents? And do you think when you see blood that it makes you a little more vicious in there?
No, I don't think so. I never ran the ball in football, right? And my pops was like, you don't run the ball. First time I ran the ball, I broke my wrist. So I've always been a cornerback, and I've always been running towards danger. When you see your opponent start to break down, regardless if there's blood or not, and in wrestling it's the same way. You see their cardio start to decrease. That's when you got to put the pressure on. That's when you put that aggressiveness in, and it's not about like the Bruce Lee or the BJ Penn. Yeah, it could seem like that, but that's another way to win. I mean, I got cut too, so I had to keep my hands up. I already immediately knew that. As soon as I saw the blood start to drip, I was like, fuck, he's going to go after that. And it's just like, I mean, yeah, you said it, if you smell blood, you're going to go after it. More than anything else, it's just like a target. Boom, you're just going to be like, boom, I'm going to start picking at it. Make it better. Boom, 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 and then go somewhere different with it. And unfortunately for my opponents, I got sharp-ass elbows. My kicks are getting better. I got to thank my coach, Coach Billy. He's badass motherfucker, man. You know, the Muay Thai that we've done, nobody realizes the shit that we go through for that stuff, man. And there's a lot that goes into it. And
Tell us a little bit about what you go through then.
oh, shit. A lot of bag work. And my coach has got a full-time job. I mean, like, all my coaches, they got pretty much full-time stuff. So if they can't make it, I ask them for drills. I'm like, hey, can you give me a couple of drills so I can do this stuff? And they know I'm going to fucking do it. They know I'm going to go out there and I'm going to bust my ass and do that stuff without them being there. I don't mind training by myself, but this camp, I had my buddy Vic, who was there, and he was in the military. And there's a lot of military people that I have a lot of support from, and I have to think of myself the same way. I have to go out there and do it with professionalism. I have to make sure I do it and I get home safe. And that's the biggest priority that I have, is to make sure that I can make it back home to my wife and my kid. We could be doing a lot worse stuff, man. And we're in a sport, and I'm very fortunate to be able to do what I love.
Your ring, is that anything in sports related? Is that a championship ring of any kind that you're wearing?
It's a state championship football ring for MCC.
And you were a key contributor?
I was a cornerback. I was cool. I did all right.
Were you as good as you were a fighter?
I'd like to think I was a good athlete, still the same athlete. I haven't stopped, man. I'm a crusader. You know what I mean? And that's it's fun, man. It's something I've learned to be able to do, and I've had great coaches. I keep in contact with a lot of my coaches, and they always say the same thing. And I've been fortunate that all of my coaches said, they were like, if I can't get you to that certain spot, we're going to make some phone calls to get you to that next person that can. That's not selfish. That's unselfish. And I've been blessed with people that have done that my whole entire life, and it's pretty cool.
I'd just like to ask one more question. If you could break down 2 fights, Poirier and Khabib, how you think that might go. And then yourself against Conor. If that fight gets made, that would be a fascinating fight. How do you see yourself matching with him?
First question with Dustin and Khabib. I see Dustin, he plays a lot against the ropes. I mean, he does a lot of boxing. He's got some good hands, but the kid needs to get his back off the ropes. At my academy, I have a full 20 by 20 canvas, but I don't have any ropes around it. And I do that for a reason, so I don't get on my back on the ropes. Once you get your back against the cage and you start doing that, Khabib's going to put that pressure. He's going to take you down, double leg you. He's going to mount you like that dummy, and he's going to play smash and grab. I mean, that's how I see that playing out. If I were to fight Khabib, guarantee you I would throw him from his feet to his back and beat him like in Sambo, like a 5-point move in wrestling. That's my background. So as far as even McNuggets goes, I would love to stand toe-to-toe, go with that dude. I respect him as an athlete, as a person. He's kind of a douche. But, I mean, it's improper 13, man. Literally it is. And I got an attitude, and I have a different agency right now, which is great. There's no conflict of interest. That's number one. And number two is I'm here to kick some ass, man. You know, I ran out of bubble gum. But we're here to do business. Thank you. Thanks, guys.
Marlon, I know it's still fresh for you right now, and of course you're disappointed, but just can you kind of sum up, I guess, how you're feeling right now, what the emotion is like for you?
Man, I'm very upset. And my coaches work very hard for this. You know, they put a lot of time. They believe in me. We train, and unfortunately, I lost. You know, I lost the fight, and I didn't perform well like I was doing training. And let's go back home. You know, and I'll be back, man. I'll be back, and I believe I'm gonna knock that door again.
I'm sure you'll want to go back and watch it, but in your mind right now, can you think about maybe what changed? Because it seemed like you were really having some success early, and then he was able to make some adjustments and kind of start pushing you back. Do you know what changed from the first round to the second to the third?
I think my movement, you know, I felt in the fight, I think I felt a little, he hit me, I hit him back, you know, we start to brawl a little bit, and that one of the biggest things on the game plan from my coach is don't brawl, you know, you're faster, just throw the combinations and don't overload the punches, and that's what I did. I made the mistakes, and I paid for.
And the stoppage itself, what did you think about it? I mean, you were definitely in a bad spot and taking some strikes, and the referee's looking out for your safety, but there were just a few seconds left. What did you think about the stoppage?
Man, I couldn't defend myself well, but I think I was just tired, you know, and he took care of me, and I think a couple more seconds I could get back for the fourth round, but you know, man, it was my fault, you know, and nothing to say about the referee.
Last thing for me, give me an idea of what you do see for yourself. I mean, do you want some time off? I mean, this was an emotional build-up, and I'm sure a tough camp. I mean, do you feel like you need some time with family, or do you want to get back in there as quickly as possible and get this out of your mind? I mean, what do you think makes sense for you moving forward?
Man, I'm 30, you know, and I gotta go back train. That's all I have. If I don't do that, what I'm gonna do, you know? And I wanna perform. I wanna get back in the cage again in the octagon, and I wanna leave everything I have inside there.
Marlon, in the second round, you took it looked like a flurry of knees. It was maybe toward the end of the second round. Did that hurt you and affect you a little bit? Because it seemed like maybe after that, things really started to shift a little bit more.
I just messed up, you know. I just got off the game plan, and that's what happened. It wasn't the knees. I just did what I shouldn't do.
And what did he say to you after? Because both you guys were down for a while after, and it looked like took a while for you to get back up. What did he say to you when he embraced you?
Nothing, just respect, you know. And he's a good fighter, and he's a great athlete, and he's now 2-division champion. And he was humble. He was nice, you know. I just said congrats, and let's get back, man, and knock that again.
Marlon, você estava vencendo o primeiro round, mas onde foi o momento que você acha que realmente virou a chave, que você se perdeu ali na luta?
Eu acho que foi da metade do segundo round para lá. Eu comecei a cometer alguns erros ali que eu não vinha cometendo nos treinos, e era exatamente o que eu não podia fazer. E acabou que ele cresceu na luta. Eu fui um pouco também com a torcida fazendo muito barulho. A gente começou a trocar soco, e eu também troquei muito soco com ele ali na curta. Não era o que eu devia ter feito, e foi o que eu fiz, e eu paguei por isso.
Você acha que você se empolgou?
Ele me acertou, acertei ele, ele me acertou, acertei ele, e não era para ter feito isso. Eu devia ter mantido o jogo e me movimentado e feito ele errar.
Os chutes baixos, durante a semana a gente teve aquele rumor que ele teria se machucado. Isso chegou a seu ouvido? Os chutes que você investiu bem, tanto os baixos quanto os altos no primeiro round, isso era uma estratégia também por conta desse rumor da lesão dele, ou era estratégia da equipe mesmo?
Não, a minha característica já é essa, de tentar chutar as pernas, o corpo, e foi o que eu fiz, independente dele estar lesionado ou não. Muita coisa às vezes é boato, então eu ouvi por alto alguma coisa que ele podia ter se machucado o joelho, e acabou que ele falou que foi o pé, então Eu não acreditei muito, não.
can clap, guys. Come on, that'd be nice. Oh. Oh, man, it's...
Henry, you're certainly no stranger to big wins. You know, you were already the flyweight champion. There's reports you may have won a gold medal at one point in your life. I'm not sure about that, but
It's right here.
give me an idea. Where does this moment rank among big moments like that in your career?
Man, I don't even know if I could even rank these. I really don't, man. Like the Demetrius Johnson was extremely special to me. Like that one was. But this was, I mean, this puts me in the legacy. This puts me in a very secluded club. I mean, I'm the fourth person to ever hold them, you know, simultaneously. And that was almost never my goal. Like my goal was to just win the Olympics, be a UFC champion, and that's it. But then I saw, man, I was like, I saw my improvement as a mixed martial artist, like the mind and the people around me, and that all changed. I was like, you know what, I could do this. Why not me? And it was, you know, hats off to Marlon Moraes. The dude is strong as steel. I remember seeing him across the cage. I'm like, damn, that's who I'm gonna fight. I mean, a rock, and he kicked like a horse. I mean, his kicks were really, really dangerous. I can see how he's put so many people to sleep. But the key to this victory was composure and being active and adjusting and abandoning the game plan that we had. You know, I had suffered an injury in my left ankle when you had asked me. I said it was a right knee. But I had suffered it on Tuesday night, like the first night that we got there. The UFC mats, you know, they weren't, kind of some cheap tape. And I stepped on the crack, which I thought it was sealed together, and I sprained my ankle. So, you know, the rumors were true. But I had to kind of keep it to myself, get therapy along the week. You know, hats off to Heather Linden for doing that. And I was able to fight through adversity again, going in with adversity and then getting kicked exactly where it was hurting. I mean, it was. I think that's also what makes this victory extremely special.
Yeah, it was a tough start for you, right? I mean, Marlon was off to a good start, and you credited your perseverance, your heart. But were there technical adjustments that you had to make as well that kind of stemmed the tide in your favor?
Yeah, I had to, yeah. I remember my coach, Santino DeFranco, he asked me in the corner, he's like, hey, man, if you want to win this fight, you're going to have to press him. Like, you're not going to survive, man. You're not going to survive taking these hits. And, I mean, I got these baseballs in my shins right now. And then I said, okay, man, then I'm going in. Like, I have to press. I have to make it a dogfight. I had to compensate. I had to adjust to him. Screw it.
We saw you obviously limping a little bit, and you were wheeled in. Is that part of that ankle injury as well, or is that just the leg kicks?
No, that was more the leg kicks. That was more the leg kicks. The ankle I just couldn't push off and really go in and penetrate, or even like. I'd never tested picking somebody up. Let me put it to you that way. You know, I was kind of, if it happens in the fight, then screw it.
You had an interesting list of names when you got on the mic. Cruz, Faber, Garbrandt. I think a lot of us tonight were debating Aljamain or Peter Yan. Those names didn't come up. Do you think those guys are deserving contenders, or why did you lay out the names that you did?
Because those are legends, man. Because I want big fights, man. I'm on a legend rampage. That's what I want. I'm a legend killer. I want big fights, man. I want to fight Dominic Cruz. You guys wouldn't like Dominic Cruz versus Henry Cejudo, right? Doesn't that sound exciting?
It does. I think you might be hurt right now, though, unfortunately.
No, he isn't, but so am I. Not only is my left shoulder, it went out too during the fight. I had swung and I couldn't use my left shoulder that much. It was terrible, man. I'm lifting right here and I'm feeling pain, man.
Last thing for me, you mentioned featherweight. I mean, you said you wanted to save the flyweight division. Dana was here earlier, and he said, listen, the flyweight division is sticking around. He trusts you as a guy that can defend both titles, but you didn't mention flyweight tonight. What are your intentions for flyweight? I mean, I got to imagine it'd be nice not to have to cut back down to 125 again, but you said you were saving it. So give us the game plan from here.
The thing is, for me, it's saved, man. Look, I just went up. I'm a flyweight, went up, and I beat Marlon Moraes on a 15-fight win streak. What's wrong with the division? Demetrius Johnson was just so dominant that, it's like, it's not up to me, guys. Guys, I suffer making 125 pounds. Whether I stay up or I go, like, man, the division is good. Benavidez has a win over me. What is it? ESPN, what is it, Dana White? Let's restructure this for the sake of a bunch of families.
Felicidades, champ. I remember 2 months ago, I asked you, which is your biggest strength? And you told me, your mind, believe in yourself. You didn't mention your athletic skills or your wrestling. You said your mind and believe in yourself. How far do you think you can go, and how long do you think you can stay holding both titles?
Man, it's for as long as I want. But, man, and if anybody ever gets offended that I called them out, yeah, I just want to challenge myself. That's it. I just want to see how far I can push the mind, body, and soul. Like, that's almost my mission. It's probably not even so much fighting. It's more the love is just to compete against myself, against my will. You guys think it's easy coming up here and doing magic tricks and pulling out, snakes and rabbits out the bag? Like, man, I'm adding pressure to me. I'm adding pressure to me with the killer. A man that has 3 knockdowns in the first round. So, another thing that I'm going to talk about is I need to meet with Dana White too, man. I need a meeting with him because I need heavyweight money. I feel like I'm the face of the UFC now. And I should be beat. I want to get paid like one. And Dana White has been great to me. He's been really good. I have nothing bad to say, but I want to make heavyweight money. I want to change this game.
Question right here for Henry. Congratulations first. A lot this week was made of your karate stance, your wrestling, your boxing, but you put on a pace and didn't stop. How underplayed was your cardio and how much of a factor was that in that fight?
Man, I train with the sports performance-based company called Neuroforce One, and all my training, like everything, is just under science, like everything. And a lot of my credit, I owe to my team. I mean, there's the team of Captain America right there, which for you guys in my opinion, that's the 2019 Coach of the Year. Not to go off subject, but Patricio Pitbull just won his second title. I mean, this man is breaking records too. 2 double champs. But anyway, what was the question again?
Your cardio, how much of a factor and how much of an underused weapon, or people don't talk about it as a big weapon for you?
Yeah, I think it's probably credit me, but you also want to discredit in this situation Marlon a little bit. That's a lot of power, man. I hope you can maintain throwing all that power with somebody that could take it. So, I would love to credit science too, but sometimes it's your rival too. That's a lot, man. There's a pace to this game.
And last week we saw Andy Ruiz knock out Anthony Joshua for the heavyweight championship, and you headlined a card with Tony Ferguson, Tatiana Suarez, a lot of Chicano fighters specifically. How important has the last week been for those type of athletes in the world of combat sports?
Oh man, it's in our heritage. But obviously, always first and foremost, I am an American, but from Mexican descent. But it's almost like when you're from Mexican descent, it's almost like in your DNA. It's almost like it's your job. If you're gonna fight, you better win. You fight to almost be a legend because of the people that have paved the way for us. So when Andy Ruiz won, it was almost like it almost becomes a victory for like all of us, dude. It's so I took a lot of inspiration even from him. Huge underdog.
Henry, congrats. When you lost to Demetrius in the first fight with Demetrius, could you ever have envisioned this day? Were you doubting yourself as a martial artist at that point?
It actually drove me a little bit more, Kevin. I needed to have that chip on my shoulder. But there was a point where I just didn't know if I even wanted to do MMA. Like I was just so sick of competing that you guys forgive, and I tell this story all the time. I think I probably told it a little too many times. But I remember my debut in Sacramento, I had retired. Like when I didn't make weight, like I was so embarrassed, and I was feeling, it was like almost in my heart. It's like I don't even know if MMA's for me. I didn't make weight. I go up to Sean Shelby and I tell him, Sean, I says, thank you for everything, man, but I'm retiring, man. I'm sorry. I says, I'm sorry, man. And I went off and I crying, dude. I went straight to the airport and got a flight home. And I remember Captain Eric, and this is what I'm telling you, man. This is why, a coach is not just somebody that holds paths or techniques or is at your fights, but somebody that will tell you your truth. And I remember leaving, and I remember Eric was like, no, you're the best in the world, Andy. You're the best in the world. This is your game. I believe in you. And I remember just pushing him aside, man. I was like, dude, get out of here. I had to close the door on him. He's like, you can still fight. Like, he was still trying to get me to fight, too. And I remember going back home, and I was there for 2 weeks, and I didn't come out of my room. And I've never been a guy to get, I don't want to say necessarily depressed, but sad over a loss, because I've always gave it my all. And that time I felt like it was just, it hit me hard. But I remember after 2 weeks were done, I says, you know what? I called Sean Shelby. I said, Sean, I want to fight, man. Can you give me the biggest dog you got? I'll go at 135 pounds. So it's adversity, man. What's made me has been these things that have happened in my life. It's putting chips on my shoulder. I hate to lose, and I love to win.
Do you, after the Johnson fight, you lose to Benavidez? I mean, I know you think you probably won, and he thinks he won. So, like, did that even add further to it? Because you come back and you don't get back on the winning track right then and there.
Yeah, it does. It does. But it also humbles you a little bit too, and these are good lessons too. I take a lot from losses. I take a lot of the good out of it. I understand that it's beautiful because you know that you can lose at any given time. And I love doing Motivational Mondays for that reason. It's like, and I said it, you guys watch my Motivational Monday. I says, Marlon Moraes is a dangerous man. He can knock me out. I have a 50% chance of winning because he's so dangerous. But that goes for anybody across the board.
You mentioned that Santino had said in the corner, you need to do something. I mean, instinctually, were you aware of that? I mean, are you just so much in the moment that, you have to hear the coaches kind of tell you, hey, you need to make this adjustment? Or do you have that instinct in you that you can adjust on the fly, just sensing what's going on in the cage?
I had that instinct. And when he told me in the corner, and they told me, "Hey, dude, you just gotta be in boxing range. You cannot box this dude. You gotta hurt him, dude, because you're not gonna survive taking kicks like that." And I just says, "Okay." I says, "I would have to listen to," but I says, I think I said, "Okay, I'm going in." I says, "I'm going in like a kamikaze."
How big were those knees? I guess as part of that, because you landed those knees, and that seemed like the beginning of the end of Marlon.
Yeah, I saw that, and I saw he was dunking his head. Like I said, it was a lot of it is he threw a lot of power. He threw a lot of power, and I won't be able to walk for the next week. So he was kind of dunking his head after a while. He was just throwing, and I just grabbed it, and I just went at it. And once I knew I heard him with that first knee, I knew that was a key. I knew that the knees are going to change this fight.
Henry, Julian Virgin. First and foremost, respect to your accomplishments, man. Secondly, you had some issues. He stuffed a couple of your takedowns in the first and the second round. Could you describe the finishing sequence of the fight?
Man, I don't even know if I remember. A part of it, too, with the takedown was kind of not being able to leverage and really get explosive in there. I just didn't know how far I could take it. But the finishing touch was his demeanor. His demeanor, the fact that what he was showing me in his face, he was showing me in his breathing. He was showing people sometimes speak it when you fight.
You landed a couple elbows. Did you know at that point in time the fight was over? Were you going for the finish?
Yeah. I wanted to finish him. I knew my elbows were just going hard. They were coming at him like swords, and we had drilled that exact same side too this morning. Boom. So.
there was a lot of animosity before the fight leading up to it. What was said following the final?
We just congratulated each other. Even like I said, even prior to this, besides the animosity, he's a great man. I can tell when people have beautiful souls. Marlon Moraes, I can tell by his presence, he has a really beautiful soul. So this was nothing but business for me. And, we shook hands like sportsmen. And we says, hey, man, congrats, dude. And I says, hey, man. I just said, I think I even told him I love him.
Finally, how did Chicago treat you this week?
Chicago was, Chi-Town I like it, man. I've been able to fight, my last 3 fights, I fought in LA, I fought in New York, and I fought in Chicago, man. The 3 biggest cities in America. So it's been cool to end it in Chicago.
Triple C, congratulations.
Oh, the schmo.
Last night, you had a nice Chicago dinner, steak dinner with your team. What was the theme of that dinner?
The theme of the dinner, to not talk about fighting? That's exactly what it was. Guys, doing media is a pain. Jesus, you guys have no idea. Poor Ronda McGregor. So you hear it all the time, and then your team wants to talk about it all the time. I'm just like, all right, guys, enough. Dude, talk about something else. So that's what the talk was about, not to talk about fighting.
You and Marlon are both represented by Ali. Has he contacted you? What was the message?
Ali hasn't. I haven't checked my phone. I'm sure he has. Ali's he's like a brother, man. Sometimes I think a lot of people, he's misunderstood by a lot of people. He's a great man. I'm sure he called.
What was the last thing he said to you?
He said, best of luck. He said, best of luck. He says, you're a legend. You accomplish everything, man. He says, I look up to you. I'm just like, damn, Ali, it's really nice of you, man.
Thank you.
Henry, my last 2 in Spanish. Después del primer asalto, ¿qué fue lo que cambió? Te había castigado mucho, sobre todo en el primer round, con esas patadas a las piernas. ¿Qué fue lo que cambiaste? ¿Cómo hiciste tu approach para poderle dar la vuelta a la pelea?
Man, eso le creo que el corazón, o sea, más que todo si está lastimado. O sea, entré lastimado y me lastimó. Fue doble el dolor. Pero fue el querer, o sea, fue algo del corazón, fue algo de, hey, man, eso me pertenece a mí. Ese fue más el pensamiento para mí. Esto me pertenece a mí. Y en el segundo round me dijeron, mi entrenador me dijo, si tú quieres ganar esta pelea, necesitas boxear a él, necesitas estar enfrente de él. Y eso es lo que hicimos. Yo les dije, bueno, si eso es lo que vamos a hacer, le voy a entrar. Y le entré.
Con este tipo de victorias, Henry, ¿dónde crees que ese tipo de triunfos te ponen actualmente dentro del deporte y dentro del UFC?
De verdad no sé, de verdad, man, esta significa mucho. No te puedo decir dónde está rankeado, pero significa mucho. Significa mucho porque, man, yo respeto mucho a Marlon. Yo creo que él es un peleador muy bueno, o sea, 15 consecutivas de peleas, o sea, noqueando a todos en el primer round, yo sabía. Eso no fue tanto por el cinturón, pero creo que también fue él. Porque yo sabía que era el número 1 contendiente aquí en los Estados Unidos, digo, en el mundo.
Henry, de este lado, ya mencionabas el orgullo que te causó la victoria de Andy Ruiz, y él lo va a recibir el martes, el presidente de México, allá en la Ciudad de México. ¿Es un honor que te interesaría tener también a ti? Es un caso muy similar, nació en Estados Unidos, pero hijo de mexicanos.
Dile al presidente que me invite, porque no tengo dile que me invite, yo quiero ir. Yo quiero ir al padre de todo México. Claro, quiero mi invitación.
Digo, obviamente lo de Andy Ruiz ha llamado mucho la atención, pero tal vez tienes más méritos todavía, la medalla de oro, los 2 títulos.
Sí, como te digo, no sé, man, de verdad, yo sé que eso va a traer mucha atención para mí. Yo sé que va a traer mucha atención. ¿Sí me entiendes? Necesito hablar con Dana White, con mi equipo, y a ver qué es lo que me conviene más como peleador, man, porque yo pienso que nosotros necesitamos pagar un poquito más. Yo creo que yo me lo merezco. Yo quiero tener esa junta con Dana White. Primero antes de pelear, porque yo me la merezco. medalla de oro, cinturones, 2. Ya estoy listo para hacer un billetazo. Y no tengo hambre de dinero, nomás le estoy diciendo la verdad. Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you guys so much. Oh, hold on. Yeah, you guys gotta pick me up too.
I love going out and looking for up-and-coming talent. If you know me, you know what I'm looking for. I'm looking for talented, exciting fighters that go for broke and try to win. Just coming on to the Contender Series doesn't guarantee you're gonna get into the UFC. You have to come out and you have to perform. One shot.
Oh, big right hand from Hardy, and that is it!
And show me what you got. At the end of the night, I will make the decision on who gets into the UFC.
A UFC contract, it would mean that all the years that I put into it, again, all those hours, those restless nights, those odd jobs, those days of being broke, it was worth it.
There's something about sacrificing yourself towards a goal and sacrifice yourself to something that's incredibly difficult. Trying to achieve something and then doing everything you possibly can, trying to see just how far you can go.
I deserve this because I've been in this sport for long. I've sacrificed my time, my friends, my family to follow this dream.
I walked away from a college scholarship. I walked away from a job as a registered nurse because this is my dream. This is what I want to do. This is what I know I need to do.
I've recently quit my job. I moved in with one of my coaches, living off of an air mattress. I'm putting everything into fighting right now because this is what I want to do.
I wake up 4 o'clock in the morning, get a workout in, go to work. Immediately after work, I go to the gym and spend a lot of time at the gym and I have a little bit of time at home to spend with my family. I'm sacrificing my future just for a chance. I'm out to prove that I'm the best.
I'm fighting for moms, to show you guys that you can do anything you set your mind to.
I'm looking to prove all the haters wrong.
My goal is simple, to be the greatest of all time.
I fight for my people.
I fight for my daughter, Camilla.
I fight for all the girls who need a hero.
Man, this is something I wanted my whole life. I know I can beat all the guys in the division. Just give me my opportunity.
It's about not giving up. I'm not ready to quit. I've been through a lot of hard times. I'm here. It means everything to me.